Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Sonny here, coming at you guys with another Neverwinter video. And by the title and thumbnail, you know why you clicked on. We are going to be talking about the CDP PvP program that they have just reopened, believe it or not, the other day. Okay, so here we go. Let's just jump into it. This is from Julia herself. Thank you for all the patience as a team to the time to discuss all the feedback and put together a comprehensive write-up. Okay. So the last time this was open was in March. We are now in June. So let's see what they have come up with. Issues raised in the CDP. Seasoned veterans pubs stomping newcomers who are not equipped with the best in slot gear. That's a problem. A desire for separate PvP ability, balance, and gear that can be used. That's a problem. Complaints about artifacts and mount powers. Pay to win complaints. That's just every game though. You know what I mean? That's just, especially with free-to-play titles. You know, if people got money, then by all means put your money in a game. More game modes requested. Deathmatch, capture flag. That would be interesting. Solo queue and grouping queue. Rewards from playing PvP are bad outside of season rewards and do not help a player get better gear for PvP. That's a valid point. Matchmaking does not take the class into effect. It will sometimes create a team of only healers and tanks with no DPS, or put a bunch of DPS without tanks. Really? I never even knew that. See, I don't even PvP, but that would be dumb. You're telling me you can get a no DPS team, but those clerics and tanks, bro, don't be sleeping on them. Respawn time needs some looking into. Feels random. Okay, here it is. Overall problem. Our current PvP approach doesn't work for the majority of our audience, which results in low PvP population. Some of the concerns raised in the CDP are direct results of this. For example, our PvP queues already try to match players by similar item levels, but will only try that for a certain amount of time before matching together a random group. I never even knew that. I wonder if that works for the dungeon queues as well. I don't know how they figure that one out. But hey, they're saying that it matches you with your item level for only a certain time. How long? You know what I mean? You should be able to check that, so it doesn't matter how long you're waiting. You only want to be queued in with the same item level. But let's just continue on. I'm getting distracted. In the past, this time was longer, but due to the PvP community being smaller, even with that longer delay, we got the small imbalanced matches, so we shortened the timer to reduce those waits. Thus, in return, results in newer players being put against matches with highly geared PvP veterans, which is not a good experience. That bad experience makes those new players decide PvP isn't as fun as they hope and it would be, and they move on. Let me tell you something real quick. I know I'm going to get distracted, but let me give you a quick story. When I started playing Neverwinter back in the day and PvP was the thing to go to, man, it was just frustrating that you got demolished, because back in the day, it was the TRs dunking you. And I've always played a barbarian. I'm not the type of person who's just going to make a class for a specific thing. I'm using my barb regardless. Now it's different, but back then, the rogues would dunk you, and it was a one-shot. The HRs would just permanently CC you. Guardian fighters were busted for a while. Now, I'm not sure what the meta is now. I don't PvP, but back then, if you didn't even have, you know, everything tip top, you were just going to get mollywopped, and that is discouraging. That is why personally I don't play PvP. I'm not investing millions of AD just for small returns. It's not really profitable, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But let's continue. Even more geared and skilled players are still struggling at times, as they aren't as the very top of how strongly they can be geared. Right. So even if you think you're geared properly and you have everything, there's always going to be that guy that's just stronger than you, and there's nothing you can do. Like, at the end of the day, PvP, if there's somebody stronger than you, regardless of what, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Like, I've seen some ridiculous tanks just take a beating from 5 other players. Like, it's insane, some of these builds these guys come up with. And by all means, is it you know, unfair? No, I don't want to say it's unfair. It's just they play PvP first, right? And the PvP range doesn't allow players to have progression in PvP. They just throw you into PvP. That's it. There's no progression. There's no tiers of like, oh, if you win a match, then you're bumped up to the next tier. There you go, tiers. Tiers for PvP. There should be tiers. So these higher end game players get paired up against higher end game players. Not item level, but physical tiers. So every time you win, every time you get kills, it's equivalated into points. And those points put you up. And you can have like 3 different tiers for it. Doesn't matter. But at least this way, it's not based on item level. It's just based on your skill. Because item level isn't everything anyway. But here we go. I got distracted again. But even more geared and skilled players still struggle at times as they aren't at the very top. Okay. This can create the call that is PvP is paid to win. While we don't feel that is quite an accurate statement, we do understand where the frustration is coming from. It is, but it isn't. Like I discussed just before, if you played from the beginning, you're definitely at an advantage. Or if you play PvP at the lower levels and you know what you have to do, you're at an advantage. But if you hit 80 never playing PvP, you're at a disadvantage tenfold, especially if you just queue right up. That's what I'm saying. Instead of worrying about, your item level, wait times, tiers for PvP. I feel maybe they're going to talk about that here in a second, but I just feel tiers could solve a lot of problems for that. It's not about item level, it's about skill. Put these skilled players with skilled players. Don't be putting skilled players with fresh, as Garland or fresh Timmy over here. Like, really, Timmy doesn't want to play against these end gamers. I don't want to play against the end gamers for peace sakes. I just want to go on, enjoy PvP for what it's worth, and get the hell off. But these guys will pair you up with anybody. From what they're saying, they used to pair you up on item level. I don't know about that. I never even knew that myself for PvP, but if they're saying it, I guess it's true. But anyway, let's continue. One last side note, since respawns timers came up, those are rolling respawns, which means they aren't your personal respawn timer, but are instead your team's. This is so that instead of players respawning one by one and trying to get back into the fight before others die, the team members who are dead can spawn together and do a coordinated attack. We should do a better job calling this out and displaying it for players. 100%. 100%. What is that? See, stuff like this is a problem. Team members who are dead and can spawn together and do coordinated attacks. If you're just pubbing PvP, nobody in Neverwinter plays with a mic, bro. How many times have you jumped into a pub dungeon, a pub PvP group, and you heard somebody using a mic, other than you just hear loud, obnoxious noises? Genuine talking in a 5-man PvP pub group is unheard of. I have never pubbed a dungeon, a PvP, and heard the whole other rest of the dungeon talking. Never. So I don't know. I get that. They want you to do. Now that only works if there's a full party of 5. So there should be that's what I'm saying. There definitely has to be more diversity here with PvP. That's way too broad to say, oh, we just wait for everybody to spawn so you can have coordinated attacks. No. You take too long to spawn, they're just going to spawn trap you then. And then you're just sitting there at the top of your campfire. Just getting spawn trapped. But let's keep going. Potential solution. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Even before we made an April fouls, we had a discussion moving players to a PvP style of preset characters. It was an idea we would discuss on and off over time as we weren't sure if it was the right move to make during that time. We continued to grow the PvP audience by working on PvP balance, improving rewards, making a better campaign, and adding PvP seasons. While each of these steps would result in a short-term growth of PvP, it would take long for a number of players participating in PvP to drop back down to lower levels. Okay. The fact combined with the strong positive reaction to the April fouls PvP have renewed our interest in approaching PvP in a new way with the preset characters. Here's a rough outline of how that would work. Okay. So before we jump into this and go ahead and wrap this up, let's talk about this. Preset characters. I have a problem with that. Now, the thing about that is maybe they could do that as a specific game mode because they don't really classify that here, what their intentions are. It's Neverwinter. We don't always get, a solid definitive answer, right? This is just a potential solution. They said with that April fouls event, I didn't participate in it. Like, for me, I don't play any amounts of PvP just because I don't enjoy PvP. And, maybe I should have tried out that April fouls and did a video or something about it, but it didn't even peak in my head to go play it. because I'm not a PvP. I just figured I was just gonna get mollywopped, like without even playing it. I just thought it was gonna be a waste of time and stupid, and I was just gonna get mollywopped. Now, by all means, it could have been fun, it could have been entertainment, it could be different, but at the same time, if you go with this preset, everybody has preset builds or preset tunes that they can pick. Like whatever class you are, there's preset, you know, things you can pick. Like in Call of Duty, before you can make a custom loadout, you can only pick the 5 ones. That would be a problem for everybody out there who's been playing for so long and who use whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? So that is definitely that's definitely gonna make some people heated. But let's continue. I keep rambling. Alpha. Our first stage of development would be a simplified version of this concept that we would release in alpha state. This means it wouldn't have all the functionality and polish, but would have the core gameplay for early feedback. Okay, let's continue. Alpha would have the following items. The existing domination packs would now have a contact in the starting area, which players choose their characters. We would strive to make 11 preset characters. 1 henchman, the basic class you spawn in that is weak. That makes sure players are not themselves in that. They know how to pick a real class before standard. These are different monsters, characters from Neverwinter that are free for all players to use. And 3 premium, to make sure PvP doesn't feel pay to win at all. We're going to approach it with this new goal of having premium. All right, let's continue before I ramble here. Let's just try to finish this off because I keep cutting you guys off. My apologies. Characters that's premium costumes instead of paying to have better gear. This is where our more iconic Neverwinter characters would show up, such as Nox, Celeste, Makos. These shouldn't give any statistical advantage. They're simply different options in playstyle. Okay. These preset characters would all have their stats set to their role function and would have 1 set of powers on their power tray, 3 encounters, 2 dailies, 2 at wills. This is all a alpha build would have. This allows players to try out the new PvP right away and start giving feedback. The beta. This stage is more about putting the polish on the existing functionality we've built, providing more class options to keep PvP fresh and the matches more varied. We want to create the first aspects of the progression, such as a campaign system or a boon tree system. What the progression system is specifically will depend on both feedback and how we can leverage our existing tech. Official. Alrighty then. This is the stage where we can feature fully released. For this stage, we would add at least 1 new PvP match type, either something like capture the flag or a more involved match where a bigger group of players are in the match and there are a mix of PvP and PvE objectives to allow a wider range of players to participate. Whoa, where did they come up with this? Wait a second, where did they come up with this? They said in the official, for this stage, we will at least capture the flag domination, they should have said, but this would be a match where a bigger group of players and there's a mix and match of PvP and PvE objectives. What's can that in? I wonder, then at that point, to me, it's not PvP. It's not player versus player. Because that's all PvP is. It's just player versus player. PvE is player versus enemy. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where they came up with this. This is throwing me off a little bit. Like, they didn't even talk about this, something of this scale and any of this alpha or beta. But let's just continue. I'm getting distracted. Okay. Oh, crap. I just lost my spot. Okay. By this stage, we should have our progression system and UI systems finalized. Okay. Future, beyond the official release, we want to continue to add new classes and new custom for existing classes. If PvP is proving to be particularly popular, then we should continue to add a few different game modes and potentially bring back competitive seasons with the 3v3 deathmatch, smaller map style. All of this is a proposal and can change in many ways. None of the call outs in this feature are guaranteed in any form or something we are locked into at this point. Thank you for everyone who participated in the PvP CDP. Now, before I go ahead and give you guys my thoughts, and we're going to scroll down a little bit, this video is going to be a little bit longer because we're going to touch upon everything, and I want to make sure I get this video thoroughly, you know. Okay, so everything here is what pretty much is like a quick summary of what everybody talked about in the previous one. Now, if I scroll up here real quick, There's 8 pages to this. There's 8 pages, and each page is genuinely long. It's genuinely long. So they have a lot of feedback. The community wants PvP. There's no debating that. 8 pages. All right, maybe you want to say 7 if we don't want to include their article. 7 pages of people who genuinely write down thoughts. You know, some of them may be more broader than others, but 7 pages of PvP. People want it. People want PvP. I wouldn't mind seeing PvP change. You know, if I could play PvP and enjoyed it, then I'm all for it. So now let's talk about it. Now, my thing is, Cryptic or anybody, whoever watches this, bro, I think you're just doing this. You're like completely rehauling it. And I don't know if that's a good thing or if that's a bad thing. I think it just needs some fine touching. It needs better rewards. Everything in Neverwinter needs better rewards. We all know that. But at the same time, I think they're just overthinking it. And like I said previously, just tiers, right? Just try tiers. It's not based on item level. It's not based on, you know, random timers. It's literally tiers for PvP. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. And as you win, and as you get more wins, points, kills, that time accumulates and you progress your bar. So you go to Tier 1, Tier 2, or Silver, or Bronze, or Gold, whatever. I think that would be better than just a complete overall. This is a completely, and maybe PvP people want a complete overhaul, but my problem is, what is up with this 11 preset characters? Now, I'm not sure if they mean like you don't have no customization then at that point for PvP. I don't know. Let's just relax, take it down a notch. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think and what you would like to see in the next PvP CDP program. That was a tongue twister right there. But boom, your boy Sonny nailed that thing. Let's go. So, do you guys agree with me? Also, leave that in the comments. Would you like to see tiers, or is that, you know, that still wouldn't fix the problem, right? But here we go. Let's just look over some of these comments. By the way, a quick note. Maybe add glory multipliers as invokers bonus next to the AD, so increase the incentive to play daily PvP, or at least generate an allure by seeing having 100k plus 50. Yeah. So pretty much he's saying you have an AD booster, have a glory booster every time you pray. Incentivize people to play PvP. Easy enough. I want to play Sisters of Strahd or maybe Druffy. This sounds cool, especially if their game powers are incorporated. I don't know if they'll be that incorporated. I think it's just going to be, you know, if it's Nox, it's just going to be a Barbarian. If it's Mako, it's just going to be a Wizard power. If it's Celeste, it's just going to be the Healer's powers. I don't think they're going to have individualized powers. Let's keep it going. I don't want the existing system where we fight each other as characters. We built ourselves to be taken out of the game entirely. I like being able to play my own character as much as I like chicken PvP. So I think he's in the same headspace as I am. Are they completely removing the customization from PvP? Because that's confusing to me. If that's the case, it's not gonna fly. The PvP people ain't gonna have that. You know how much money and time, you know, sure, these end gamers for PvP make up a small percentage, but at the end of the day, they're the ones playing PvP. They're the ones playing the PvP. And I feel if they say, what do you like? I don't know. Let's keep it going. However, I did like the chicken PvP, and good chance the system will allow for more pre-mades, regular pre-mades, or sometimes me and many other PvP players really miss and went back. The gear gap being taken out of the equation is hellfire for this game's PvP overall, and will appeal to both new players and many in the veteran crowd as well. This type of PvP will be likely to be very popular if it's designed well and lets you earn some good rewards. So yeah, as simple as that. I personally think a tier system, better rewards is always the thing. You know, keep the season and strive for something. Make players strive. Like, have like a top 3 PvP thing. You know what I mean? So when you load into the game in Neverwinter, have PvP part of the game. Don't keep it on the side. focus point. So when people play Neverwinter, PvP is also a focus point of Neverwinter, an extra ad revenue for them. Hey, let's keep going. I just was informed by Cryptic Reedy that the old PvP system isn't going to be scrapped when the new Heroes PvP gets. We're just good now. Okay, so actually, I'm not sure who this member is, but he said he was informed by Reedy. I don't know who that is, so I apologize, but he's saying that this is just a new system. So that's cool. Okay. What about the reward structure in the PvP store? Where is that? Question mark. What about the additional loot drop weapons and items that are PvP specific? Now, he's listing off a bunch of things that, you know, they didn't talk about, but at the same time, you know, I'm just going to start skimming through all these. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. If you want to come check this out, leave your comments for them. Read these comments. Okay. So last comment in this video before we go ahead and wrap this up, because this video is getting long and it's good enough, right? Let's just shout out my boy, the Nick Flow. Yes, 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 yes. This is exactly what will help PvP grow. So many non-PvP players hated a great time with Chicken PvP. It was balanced, tactical, awesome. Many new players and non-PvP players had an absolute blast. Okay, I'm going to take my boy's word on that. I did not play the Chicken PvP. I thought I was just going to get mollywopped just like regular PvP. So I guess maybe I should have played the Chicken PvP just to give you guys my thoughts about it. But getting massacred because gear difference is ridiculous. Getting massacred in a balanced mode will be more fair and give opportunity to grow as a PvP player as they learn. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Item level isn't everything. If somebody just knows what they're doing with their characters or something like that, they're gonna wreck regardless. Please work hard on this. DCUO. This is the only other MMO that I have played that has PvP like this. It was called Legends PvP, and you could play with DC Universe characters with preset skills and are all balanced. Let's go Cryptic. Make this happen. Yes. I'm gonna go shout out Cryptic. You know, for all the shit that we have gotten in the past, they're really starting to up the ante here. You know what I mean? In terms of being, you know, more communicative with us, putting out stuff like this. This is all new to the game and all new to them as well. So I have to take a step back, you know, because they've been doing Neverwinter for one way this whole time. From mod 5 when it released on Xbox is when I started playing. So from mod 5 all the way up to mod 19 we're approaching. They have been doing the game, you know, kind of behind the scenes. They didn't give us a voice in the community. Now everything is changing. I'm happy to say that. You know, regardless of what, I'm happy to say that. And yes, it's going to take time because this is new for us, but it's also new for them. So we have to be understanding. Yes, we grow impatient because it has been years for some of us. And if you just started, man, you're lucking out because Neverwinter, in my opinion, is going to be on the up and up, guys. Anyway, it has been your boy Sonny. This video has been long enough, and I will check you guys out on the next adventure. Peace out.